Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jerry Sansing with another edition of What's Going On in Corpus Christi. It's essentially the Taxpayers Association of Corpus Christi voice, and this is November the 18th, 2018. It's on a nice rainy Sunday afternoon. But anyway, I'm going to be talking about several things. I do have a lot of people that are trying to get a hold of me. I keep telling them the best way to do that is just to go ahead and email me. There at the bottom it's gsansing@gmail.com, and I'll get back with you. I'd rather not have the phone number out. Get a lot of people that need that one, but we've got a lot of things to discuss around this town, and as taxpayers we're being terribly abused and taken care, advantage of. That we've been listening to a whole bunch of lies and so forth and so on, and it's always the taxpayers around here that get, end up holding the bag for all of these politicians and so forth. And I won't show the Pinocchio again tonight. I've misplaced that. I'm going to find it. I'm knee deep in a lot of files and so forth and so on. But I will show you the graphic about being taxpayers holding the bag. I will be right back. But remember, it's gsansing@gmail.com, and I'll announce the Taxpayers Association meetings and so forth in just a moment. Anyway, I will be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that may be rather graphic for you. I'm sorry. I'm a biologist. It takes a lot to upset me, but as I say, here's the bag that you taxpayers are holding, and there's your local politicians around here, and I don't discriminate between Democrat, Independent, Republican, out of space, Martians, or whatever. All I do is I try to figure out why in the world we can't take care of the taxpayers that have to pay all these bills around here. But that's what happens. We get stuck holding that bag, and that's called pachyderm excrement. Okay, and then I'll go through bovine and equine and so forth excrement in just a little bit. Anyway, I'll be right back with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the lights are on. The camera is rolling, apparently, much to the dismay of the city. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But anyway, I'm going to come around and take my place. I'd like to have you take a look at those wonderful shrimp plants. I've got a patio. Half of that is filled with those. Those plants are absolutely gorgeous. And I'd like to dedicate those to my mother, Miss Connie, and Miss Lynn, my deceased wife, and April 23, excellent student, aeronautical engineering student to be. And, all of those women are just very precious to me. So I just wanted to remark on that. But I've got these out, and people say, why? They're like a weed. They grow like a weed. And I said, good, because this will feed the hummingbirds on their migration south. And I said, starting to see a bunch of them around here. And I did see a butterfly today, even in the middle of all this cool temperature and so forth and so on. This is what's going on in Corpus Christi, Texas. Like I say, I'm the president of the Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association. We've had several large meetings here lately. The membership meeting, general membership, we have twice a year. And the Taxpayers Association members are pretty upset about a few things, so I don't mind telling you that, okay? Now, the new times, I think it's going to start next time this airs. This will be the regular schedule on 8:30 Tuesday, Wednesday. But I did maintain the 8:30 Wednesday for the next go around, and I had to switch it to 7 p.m. Thursday for what's going on in Corpus Christi. I did get South Texas News and Reviews back on 9 p.m. on Wednesday and on Tuesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday. I've got them out of order here. And then we've got the voice of Ed Bennett at 2 p.m. on Sunday. He's one of our Board of Regents members at Del Mar College, and then we've got him on at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday. So I'll announce those. So starting on December the 2nd, which is a Sunday, then what we do is we have that upcoming schedule. Now I'd also like to interject the fact that we're going to have a Taxpayers Association board member meeting everyone in Corpus Christi is invited to that. We do talk about the different things that we want to get to accomplish with the Taxpayers Association. And I'm reminded of what Joe O'Brien, who was a very he was a World War II veteran, a very nice guy, started Taxpayers Association essentially back many years ago, and his motto was, "Silence is not the answer." So I'd like to say, Jack, Joe, our prayers are always with you, my friend. You taught me an awful lot about this, and I won't get into my family's military background. Now, the first order of business that I've got to discuss is there's a canvassing board of regents election on the that's going to happen. I guess that's tomorrow. I'm sorry I didn't give you a heads up. They just called it a retreat meeting to do this, where they canvass the votes for the new faculty, or for the new Board of Regents members for Del Mar College. Now, the single member district was up. It was full term. The candidate there, Mr. Gabe Rivas, had no opposition to that, so he was voted back in. That'll be confirmed tomorrow. A single member district 3, Elva Estrada is the only one that was able to, there were no other candidates for that. But at the at-large that's open, which is currently held by Sandra Longoria Messbarger, that one was up for votes, and it appears that Mr. Hector Coach Salinas has won over Guy Watts and Sandra Longoria Messbarger. Okay, I don't know him well. I know of his reputation around town. I'm going to wish him well from the taxpayers and see if he will, do the right thing for a change and know what's going on, which we haven't had for a while. With that at-large position. So they're going to say that he did win. It says here that let's see, the at-large candidate for the one full-time at-large position who received the greatest number of votes cast by electors residing in the entire district is Hector, and then quotes Coach Salinas. Okay, so I'll see if I can get a hold of him and talk to him. You can always go into Del Mar College, go into WebDMC and so forth, and then if you can muddle through all of that on the Del Mar website over there, you can get the Board of Regents members, the president. He's an at-large person. His term expires in 2022, and that's Mr. Trey McCampbell, and then it goes through Mr. Rivas and Carol Scott. And let's see, we had Dr. Adame, okay, and his Nick Adame, and he's he was at large also until 2020. We'll see what we can do, if anyone decides to run against Dr. Adame. And then we've got 2022, the District 5 person is Mr. Ed Bennett. He's the only CPA, much to the dismay of some other people on that board. He's the only CPA that's on that board. He's got a Master's of Accountancy and so forth, which is above an MBA. So he's trying to straighten out some of the problems we've got over there with the accounting and so forth. And then we have District 3, that's Elva Estrada. She just won the new one. And then we've got Hutchison in District 2. I think she's on until 2022. And I'm just reading. These are printouts from the Del Mar website, just so you know who the regents are that I'm going to be raising some cane about. And then we've got Sandra Messbarger. She just lost the race to Coach Salinas. That was the at-large, the third at-large in the city. And then let's see, we've got, yes, it's Dr. Sherwood, and she's District 4. So that takes care of all the districts over there. And you need to know who those people are so you can start, raising a little hell about what's going on with Del Mar College. and how we're being screwed around and how we're holding the bag on an awful lot of funny money over there as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now what I'm going to do is the next item I want to discuss, and I'm going to get my a little crib sheet here. And that takes care of the new Board of Regents members. That's 3 of those. They're all for 6-year term, and they rotate. So each 2 years we have 3 people that are up for re-election. And I want you to pay attention to what's going on and what these people are doing. And that's why I would like for you to pay a little bit more attention about Del Mar College and to Del Mar College. Okay? Now, we've been, as taxpayers, Del Mar College is my employer, folks. This is my 29th, going on to 30th year. I started in August of, good Lord, 1989. It's hard for me to realize that at the end of this spring semester in the summer, I'm going to be there, have been there for 30 years. I retired from private industry. My background is mostly biochemistry, microbiology. I was in the antibiotic research business for many, many years. I still keep up with that. I do consult every once in a while with different pharmaceutical companies, and not only that, but I do an awful lot of looking for problems and advising people what to do if they think they've got mold in their house. I know that my PhD and my master's degree in both biochemistry and microbiology, with an expertise, master's thesis, dissertation, postdoc, and so forth, in the toxins produced by various molds, that I don't have the equivalent to a bachelor's degree in biology that the state wanted me to have many years ago when they split off and said I needed to be licensed to even learn how to spell fungus here in town and those toxic fungi, mycotoxins. But you know, I didn't have the heart to tell the state when they started in on that. They said, well, we'll take your transcripts and your resume and see if you're master's and PhD in both micro and biochem with an expertise in toxic mold products and toxic bacterial products and antibiotics is equivalent to a bachelor's degree in biology. I didn't have the heart to tell them I had one of those too. My bachelor's degree was double major chemistry and biology. So anyway, you know, what can you do? But it says here in the Foghorn, this is the November 5th edition, that's the latest one, new classrooms to include high-tech spaces. Now, Del Mar College is building a probably $500 million complex, new campus, Southside campus at Rodfield in Yorktown. It's 96 acres of swampland, black gumbo. There's a big ditch that runs down behind it that drains all that rainwater off of that area into the Oso Creek and Bay. And it's a mess, folks. So 96 acres of ground was purchased without your approval as a taxpayer by, I guess the ramrod was Mr. Trey McCampbell, who is the president or the chair or whatever they call it of the Del Mar College Board of Regents. Okay? Now he's a banker, and he's the one that claimed to be the only CPA on Del Mar board after his CPA had been invalid for a long time. He didn't renew that. And, you know, I don't trust the man. He knows that, and I don't mind telling you that. But, you know, they proposed this 96 acres that you purchased out there at over $60,000 an acre of ground as swampland, and they're going to build this enormous campus out there to house what they proposed was 20,000 students to begin with. And now it's down to 15,000, and they're going to phase it in. And you taxpayers out there, I had my no Del Mar College bond signs up with my name on it and everything. Told you it was a bad idea for months before that election, but you went ahead and supported I think it was $139 million for the Southside campus for the first phase, and now that's going on, and you know, that's one of the greatest boondoggles. So if you go back and think about how you cast your vote, and then you look at that pachyderm excrement going into the taxpayer's bag, then maybe you'll pay attention. But it says new classrooms to include high-tech spaces. Now this is the part of that $159 million bond that you voted in a couple of years ago. I think it was 2014, to build new buildings on East-West campus, and I think do some improvements out at the Southwest. Now, we have had stagnant enrollment increases that statistically can't be proven to increase since 1992. Okay? Now, they say they've increased those, but in the last 3 or 4 years, they have not included the fact that 22% or better of our enrollment, quote unquote, is now dual credit students that pay only a third of the tuition rate, and then, you know, here we are stuck again. And, you know, they're not being honest with you folks, okay? So why in the world would you want to, you know, experience this when we haven't had our enrollment increase since 1992? I can prove that statistically. I did happen to take a class, a graduate class in statistics when I was in graduate school. It was a tough course, but I learned a lot of lessons. You can just about prove anything in the world you want to if you apply different statistical analyses, okay? And that's what Del Mar does. They blatantly lie to you about needing that campus out there. And, you know, and then Mr. McCampbell, in his infinite wisdom as being the top administrative person in the universe, he said that if you build a nice campus, people will go out there. Okay, well, what are we going to do with the $159 million that we're building currently? Now, statistically, and this is not even a stretch statistically, it has been determined by Del Mar College itself that the classroom space at Del Mar College currently is under 35% utilized during the course of the academic work week. Less than 35%. And here we're throwing $159 million up and then another $139 million, which is just a down payment on that boondoggle that all these wonderful, you know, voted in administrators and you know, people want to go out there and crow about it. Okay? Maybe we can name that. Now, we have such a serious administrative bloat at Del Mar College right now, it's not even funny. So anyway, new classrooms to include high-tech spaces. Now, our high-tech, we've got one of the most outrageously defunct instructional, informational technology groups in the world. Our computers don't work. They're not up to snuff. They're not up to par. We're spending a lot of money on those and getting absolutely nothing. So taxpayers, why don't you go into the Del Mar College website and get the list of the 9 Board of Regents members and just start emailing them and raising hell. Say, we'd like to have our money's worth for a change. And I won't get into one of our professors over there. I've had problems with him before. He's made anti-Semitic remarks along with the music teacher over there. And he was, I guess, go ahead and given extra credit to students if they'd vote for a certain person in the state election here in Texas. Extra credit, okay? I'm so damn sick and tired of politicians, I could vomit. Okay. Now, bullying is rampant at Del Mar College, okay? That's what you do. Now, here's an article that I have printed out, given it to many people. Increased bullying due to lack of leadership, news, and so forth, okay? And there's a picture of a guy getting ready to sock some other person. But the whole bottom line is that we, rather than take their cases to HR, as many as 61% of employees leave their jobs after enduring workplace bullying. Now, we have some bullies there at Del Mar College. It runs rampant over there. We've got several cases now that are coming up. One of my best friends in this world is Dr. Bruce Olson. and they decided that he was too vocal about some problems over there at Del Mar College. So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and change the lock on his office door. He was the department chair of social sciences. He's a PhD historian. He's a bird colonel, retired from the Army. He was Special Forces Airborne Ranger, a stellar, track record in the military and so forth, and one hell of a good leader. But they just decided that he was getting too salty over there and telling too much of the truth. So what did they do? They went ahead and changed his lock. That's cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars now as taxpayers to have Del Mar College spend outside attorney's fees up in Austin, Graves Daughtry, and so forth. We're probably $500,000 into it. The 13th Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court of the State of Texas, after appeals by Del Mar from hundreds of thousands of dollars of your tax money out there, folks, just because they could go ahead and try to bully Dr. Olson, then they spent a ton of money, and came down to a court case, and the juries awarded him a certain amount of money and said he was still employed, and they wanted to get his personal stuff back, and we're appealing it again. Okay, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars just to protect somebody's butt over there who made the mistake of just picking on the wrong guy. Okay, so that's bullying. So the administrative bullying over there, and some of the Board of Regents members backed that. Mr. McCampbell did. Okay, they're not going to put an end to it. So we'll see what happens. But you're being pooped on by that elephant big time. Okay, so I'm going to leave that alone. And we have certain faculty members in my department that go around bullying female professors and female secretaries, and you think the HR department over there, Human Resources Department, and the president and the deans and department chairs and vice presidents would do anything about it? No. They just sit there. Because, I don't know. And let these people lie and so forth on their, quote, research results and all this other garbage. And then I was not consulted by my department chair. He needs a new vertebral column. He's got no backbone. Okay, he knuckles under to the administration over there, and they are bullies, and he won't do anything. And he said that we don't have. We've got 4 different disciplines in our Department of Natural Sciences. We have chemistry, biology, geology, and physics. Okay, now. This man is a chemist. He's a department chair over there. I'm not going to name names, okay? And he's best buddies with the dean over there. And the dean has her favorite faculty members over there that do all these wonderful things, spending your money like $250,000 for a greenhouse. Nothing's been grown in that for over a year. One of the fan motors there, exhaust fan motors, is about ready to conk out, and I don't know how much that's going to cost you. And because of the association with the dean and this privileged department chair and a couple of the quote-unquote professors over there, nothing's being done. So you're sitting there on $250,000 worth of greenhouse that cannot be used by any other faculty member. And then we're told that the reason we can't have a biology faculty meeting, which is mandatory, I found out, and I'm pursuing that, then, it may get contentious because we've got the privileged one over there, a sociopathic knucklehead, that, he runs the show. And my department chair is mortally in fear of him because he's the favorite of our dean of arts and sciences. So I've tried to get a meeting done. They did not inform me that they were going to give a certain number of courses in microbiology to a person that I had trouble with 2 years ago. I had to clean up all of his messes over there, and they went ahead and gave him that. It busted up all of my activities teaching that for 30 years, and I've asked for meetings for them. I've asked on 3 occasions for that, and I've been ignored. And then I've asked for a comment from the the HR vice president or whatever she is for HR for a meeting, and I want them to admit that they've said that the reason that my department chair does not have to hold biology faculty meetings because they may be contentious because of our chosen few, our privileged ones. Okay, so I'm pursuing that. And I've told them that I'm going straight to the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, which accredits Del Mar College, and I'm not going to put up with their BS anymore at Del Mar College. That's bovine excrement, folks. And then I've got this on my door now. I said, when a toxic person can no longer control you, they will try to control how others see you. And I'm getting that every day, okay? The misinformation will feel unfair, but stay above it, trusting that other people will eventually see the truth just as you did. I see the truth. They're allowed to run free. You can make comments over there at Del Mar College if you're a privileged few. And then if they're not, then like me, then, I've done this. And I'm going to try to end this with this one. Hate crimes in U.S. surge with big jump in anti-Semitic attacks. Okay? And this is a proven fact that we've had a lot of offenses lately, particularly up in Pittsburgh when some Looney Tune goes in there and starts shooting up a synagogue of people, and kill a whole bunch of people up there. Now, I'm just going to remind HR that when I had a grievance against a professor who was hosting and was the moderator and so forth for a holiday concert live from Del Mar College, he made a very nasty remark about gas chambers, and then he also made nasty remarks about green cards and so forth with the mariachi band. I called him down on that, and the response I got when I filed a grievance against that person from the HR department, Human Relations or Resources at Del Mar College, the two top officials over there said that, all he was trying to do, this professor of music that narrated that, was he was trying to instill some humor into that. Okay, so maybe with this new article out, then they'll find some humor in the fact that hate crimes in U.S. surge with big jump in anti-Semitic attacks. I am Jewish, folks. Okay, I have no problem saying that in public, and I don't persecute other people for their religious beliefs. But when Del Mar College, and I guess that goes to the president too, he's over the Human Resources Department, when they think that anti-Semitic remarks are humorous, okay, then we've got a big problem, folks. That's a big red flag, and you need to be contacting your Board of Regents members about that. Okay? Then I'm going to, on the show that comes just after this, the South Texas News and Reviews, I'm going to indicate that I tried to get some information through 8 Public Information Act requests from Del Mar College. And what happened with that was Dr. Olson, Bruce Olson, the one I told you that was locked out of his office, then he's on the verge of I hope skinning him back real good. And I want you to realize that the reason that we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and the reason for locking him out was just strictly bullying. Okay? And it burns my fanny up because Dr. Olson is one of the best people I know on the face of this earth. Okay. All right, well, I've probably said much too much, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shut this down, and then I'll take a close shot of those beautiful shrimp plants there and let you in with that. Once again, these are dedicated to my mother, Miss Connie, my deceased wife, Miss Lynn, who, by the way, was a professor there at Del Mar College for a number of years, and April 23. So I'm just going to let that run out. My email address is gsansing@gmail.com. So email me if you've got any comments to make. I sure would appreciate having those. Good night.